Cora Jade just broke her silence, so we'll see what's up there. We'll also check out some news for the Judgment Day, WWE 2K24, and much more. Starting things off with the horrific news for Cora Jade. Cora just celebrated her 23rd birthday over the weekend, but what also happened over the weekend was the fact that she went down with some sort of leg injury during the NXT live events. Everything was pretty quiet on Cora's injury for a few days, until news finally broke that the injury suffered at the live event was the dreaded torn ACL injury, which wrestling fans are unfortunately starting to see a lot of in recent months. This is the same injury that knocked out Nikita Lyons, Dakota Kai, and most recently, Charlotte Flair. It's the complete destruction of the knee, and the average recovery time is anywhere from 6 to 9 months. But for athletes that need to be in extremely physical contact constantly, their recovery definitely leans more towards the 9-month side of things. So assuming that Cora is fully recovered in 9 months, you're looking at a potential mid-October return, best case scenario. And just as always with torn ACLs, it's just so devastating because it is a freakish injury that can happen out of nowhere that you really have no control of. It can be anything from a hard landing to simply just a weird planting of the leg. It can just go at any time. And when it does go, you're talking about a recovery that lasts nearly an entire year. So it's just absolutely horrible and devastating. Especially in Cora's case where she was literally just returning from a hiatus in the first place. So she's already been gone for a month, finally gets back on television with an explosive return, and now this happens. Immediately after the injury took place, Cora did take to Twitter that night to post a GIF that had the caption of, "I laugh to keep from crying." Everyone is hoping that the reports turn out to be inaccurate since WWE has yet to confirm the injury, but the word that's out there right now is that it is in fact a torn ACL for Cora Jade. Let's get into some Judgment Day related topics because there's a lot of news here surrounding the WWE faction. Firstly, starting off with Damian Priest and his Money in the Bank contract. Damian has been holding the Money in the Bank for over 7 months now, with the most popular fan question being, when will he actually cash in? Well, Damian Priest has definitely had several massive attempts to cash in over the last few months, but they were all stopped on every single occasion. He had a big plan at Crown Jewel, Survivor Series, several different editions of Raw, but they never go in his favor. And it's pretty insane to think about because Damian isn't alone. He has a whole faction behind him and still can't find the perfect cash-in scenario, going on nearly 8 months now. So whether he has a successful cash-in or a failed one, he's coming up here on the final months of that 1-year Money in the Bank contract. So something has got to happen here within that contract. Well, according to recent reports, the time for Damian Priest cash-in is allegedly soon and is coming up. A popular fan theory for Damian Priest cash-in has been the idea that he could possibly cash in during or around WrestleMania 40. But according to this new report, it will happen much sooner than that. And it'll be interesting to see how that's handled because a lot of fans are really expecting to see CM Punk versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. But if Damian Priest successfully cashes in before WrestleMania, that may twist things up a bit there. Now, if Damian has an unsuccessful cash-in, or if he drops the title pretty quickly, right back to Seth Rollins, then easily CM Punk versus Rollins can still be on for WrestleMania. But something like that happening would be a bit unsatisfying, especially after waiting to see this cash-in for all this time. And in other Judgment Day related news, R-Truth recently made a huge reveal about his ongoing storyline on Monday Night Raw. R-Truth told Busted Open Radio that his Judgment Day storyline was supposed to be extremely short-lived, but that it was Damian Priest who was really loving it so much that Damian Priest went to Triple H and WWE Creative himself to push for the angle with R-Truth to be extended, and it looks like Damian's request definitely was granted. Of course, the big story this week has been R-Truth legitimately becoming the top WWE merchandise seller because his recent few Judgment Day collaboration t-shirts, that whole situation was actually implemented into Raw this week as part of the story. R-Truth was personally selling the merchandise in the parking lot and backstage before being busted by Damian Priest. And Damian said that the group was extremely unhappy with R-Truth selling this merchandise without technically being in the group. But once R-Truth gave Damian Priest a cut of the merchandise sales, Damian seemed cool with R-Truth and gave him a pass for now. And like we saw the other Judgment Day members point out, they think that Damian Priest is starting to side with R-Truth just a little bit. And Damian Priest would even avoid attacking R-Truth during their tag team match, basically manipulating Truth not to hit him since they're both on the same side of the Judgment Day. Damian Priest would go on to attack R-Truth moments later for the win, but still, it seems like out of the entire group, Damian Priest is the one that's warming up to R-Truth the most. So just because Damian Priest laid out R-Truth doesn't mean the story's over. It definitely is possible that Damian can manipulate Truth into believing that he just had to do that to Truth to keep their cover hidden or something along those lines. Another hint of the angle not ending is the fact that another new R-Truth Judgment Day shirt was just produced and published this week. This one being a design of R-Truth posing with Tom and Nick Mysterio, which is a name that Truth has been giving Dominic Mysterio, thinking that he's two separate people. So with new merchandise still being pumped out and Damian Priest's character now seeing the beneficial sides to keeping R-Truth around, it looks like this story could be extended even more. And who knows, maybe if Damian Priest is feeling genuine about letting R-Truth stick around, outside of the financial benefits, maybe we could even be considering this as an early sign of Damian Priest's potential babyface turn. The rumor has always been that Damian Priest would turn babyface and leave the group right around the time of his cash-in. So it'll be interesting to see if that will happen in the near future. There's still no official word or reveal about WWE 2K24, but more intel from the talent themselves continue to pour out, confirming that the game is still very much on the way. The most recent example of this situation came this week from Kayla Braxton. Kayla took to her Instagram story to talk about how surreal it was to be in WWE 2K23, and in that same message, she confirmed that she will be in fact appearing in WWE 2K24. And that's pretty big news because 2K24 obviously hasn't been revealed yet. So for talent to confirm that not only are they in the game, but that the game is coming is pretty big news. So Kayla's post basically confirms that she's been fully scanned and is fully aware that she'll be in the next game, which is confirmed to be 2K24. There's still no official reveal of the upcoming game, but fans feel like the reveal or even a teaser announcement could happen literally any week now, so that'll be something to closely monitor. But drop your comments below, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.